You sure I can't get anything started for you?
I'm okay. I'm waiting for someone. A friend. Well, we used to be friends. We kind of still are. Maybe. Hopefully. She might hate me.
Can I get you some alcohol, sis?
Yes.
You have to consider that it's different for you and Brent. If you guys have a celebrity crush, that's different from Joe Blow regular having a celebrity crush, because you could meet your crush.
I want to ask you a question though. Have you ever been in a situation where you ran into some old dick with some new dick?
The after party, Miko after party, Jill after party, the after party, it's the after party, Miko after party, Jill after party, it's the after party.
Welcome to the after party. I'm Miko Grimes.
I'm Jill Monroe.
And we have taken a damn near 3-week hiatus. Small little tiny break from the show. Thank you to everybody that was commenting and DMing and asking us when we were coming back. I will take most of the responsibility for why we didn't come back, just because I was enraged for a long time. I've always been enraged about this kind of stuff, but this one was a little bit different for me. I'm fucking ready. I'm ready for war, my nigga, and I'm also ready for segregation. That's what the fuck we need. Fuck voting, fuck protesting, fuck waiting for justice in the courses that don't give a fuck about us. War, nigga. That's what I want to do. War. So we've taken almost 3-week hiatus, and just to get everybody caught up, obviously everybody knows that there was a significant murder of George Floyd. Not to say everybody else's wasn't significant, but this was significant for me because we literally, there was a lot of murders by police that we've heard about, that we've marched about, that we protested about, but we hear about them and then we get the video a week later, a month later, sometimes even a year later. But this one was literally right then and there, and we saw a man die with a cop's knee on his neck for almost 10 minutes, the video was.
Very casual. I can't take seeing more of our Black bodies being brutalized. I got the point, especially when I heard the length of it and saw some of the stills. I just had to make a decision for my personal sanity not to look. But I mean, everything that has come as a result of it is both heartbreaking and encouraging if it follows through.
Correct. Yeah. It took me 2 days. I kept posting stills on my story and everybody kept saying, did you see the video? And I'm like, no, I hadn't seen it because it was scary just to read what it said happened in the video. And I was just and I saw the still and I saw his hands in his pocket. And I was just no way this motherfucker just sat on this man's neck for 10 minutes and just was whatever. It was so tough to even imagine, let alone seeing it. And for us to see it so soon, it was happening today, and then on top of that, we had Ahmaud Arbery being shot, jogging. Then we had Breonna Taylor. Her home was riddled with bullets from the outside, from a no-knock warrant by the police. And it just seemed like we were being attacked again, because this has happened before. But this was just back to back to back. We're in a pandemic, okay? Everybody's at home and there's no crime. There's no school shootings. There's nothing going on, but police are still killing Black people. Still murdering, not just Black people, but everybody. They're still the biggest crime in this country. They're still the ones keeping all the shit up. And I just don't understand how they have this power. It's really bothering me that we've given men who have, 800 hours at the police academy. Yeah. You give them a gun? You get a gun?
And then it's you see that they're obsessed with power, drunk with power. It's probably the one moment in some of their lives where they could do anything. You see the very difference between the protests from people who wanted to open the cities back up, with their guns being violent, and the people that are peacefully protesting for basic human rights. Don't kill us. Take us. We've seen them take in mass murderers safely. And these situations keep happening. And defund the police, reform, however you want to term it, is a real thing. And I hope that it not only is just being paid lip service and then a couple of months down the line, people will forget about what we talked about or who said they were going to do what. We have to keep the pressure.
We need to keep our knee on their fucking neck.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I just, for even kneeling at this point makes me feel a little weird now after that whole video. So I'm kind of like,
man, listen, I've never in my life been more convinced that the reason that the police exist is because of the prison population. That is it. That is completely it. I think that they give them all this money because they have power. And when you think about the things that the police know, they pull over senators, governors, politicians, powerful people, and, doing illegal things a lot of times. And they get paid to turn a blind eye because this person is somebody type of thing. And I think about if all the police officers snitched and said the things that they know about these people and that people, how things would be different. And I think that that's why they have the power they have, because of the information they hold about the police departments in general as well, how corrupt they are, how they're, told to pull over more Black and brown people and falsify, police reports and plant drugs on people and lie just to keep the prisons populated, and it's just unfortunate that this country cares more about making billions of dollars off of policing and jailing and imprisoning people than they will give to educate people. Like, we would put more money into the prisons than into the schools, and that is disgusting. Like, I'm disgusted.
It's when Reagan defunded the mental health bill or whatever it was back in the 80s after Jimmy Carter signed it in. It's been hell ever since his presidency, because it let all those mentally disturbed people out on the streets. They couldn't get the help they need, coupled with, the crack epidemic and everything else. It's just meant to keep us ensnared. And when it wasn't with Jim Crow laws and arresting us, like you said, to the pipeline population, then it was redlining, controlling what areas we moved in and devaluing our neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And then once they're all desecrated, then they come in, buy it up and drive up the prices and,
put us out and slow, just continue to just put us in poverty. Like, people, I'm so tired of people saying slavery is over. No, it's not. They just changed the way they're doing it. That's it. They've legally enslaved us since abolishing slavery. They're smart. They're ahead of us. And that's what bothers me, is that these motherfuckers are ahead of us. They know what they're doing. And I feel like the blessing in all of this is that I'm seeing a different crowd at these protests and these marches. I'm seeing a different crowd. And a lot of the riots and the looting and stuff, I found out the police are involved with it. There's just a lot of tactics. But I like the rioting. I like that shit. I like the looting. I liked it all, honey. They didn't go to the hood here. I'm in LA.
I appreciate that.
We're both in LA now. Yes, we didn't go to our hoods. We did it in areas that are not ours, that we don't own. And I thought it was a great release. I thought it was excellent niggerdom.
I mean, there was a lot of strategy behind it. The way, the Black Lives Matter protests that popped up at the mayor's house here, they were silent. They just showed up and ambushed and
sat there. Yeah.
So, it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yes, and that's what I always say. I said we need people to protest. We need people to march. We need people to loot and riot. We need people to vote. And what we also need, and this is my problem, because this is where I come in, we need some people with the shits, okay? And I have a very unpopular opinion about this, but we need to start sniping these motherfucking cops, because I'm sorry, that's the only way that they will understand that you can't just go out here willy-nilly killing somebody's family. We need a bounty team to handle these motherfuckers. We need all four corners. Like I said, we need the marching. We need the
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
Yeah, we need everything, because it's going to take a long time to get where we're going, but we can get there faster if we knock off some of these fucking police. I'm just saying, girl, they don't pay any price. They get away with it, and this is the way we could. This is like almost like a head start. Like this is giving us like a little boost to get to where we're going. Because once we get in their fucking head, once we get in there and they start to slow down doing that, that's going to be pressure on them to continue to put these prisons, put the bodies in the prison. And then the police are going to be like, whoa, I didn't sign up to die. I didn't sign up to get my house shot up to my parents and my kids and my family. We need to make them feel how we feel. That's how I feel. That's our next step. Once we get there, then we on our way. We all the way on our way.
I'm not that radical yet, but I am for defunding the police. I'm glad to see. I saw in LA the school police are losing their grenade launcher and one of their little tanks. Why do you need a grenade launcher? Like war against your own people? But
it's insane.
We're gonna talk about the lighter side of life now.
Yes. Okay. I'm back. I had to get that off, but thanks again to everybody that was hanging out and waiting for us. I hope you guys enjoy these 2 episodes. We're gonna go over episode 8 and 9, which was 8 was
low key happy, and 9 was low key trying. Yes. So we're gonna start with episode 8 first, and I'm gonna let you kick this off. So go ahead, girl. Go ahead. So this was cute. We knew that Lawrence and Issa were going to reconnect and have some sort of conversation. We know Lawrence was coming back from San Francisco. We didn't know what he was doing there. First thing at the scene, if you guys remember, Issa hits the door to the restaurant and falls flat on her face, girl.
So embarrassed for her. I was just like, oh my God. You know how dirty bar floors are?
Man.
I would have been disgusted.
And she just laid there for a second. But, she got up and recouped. They had a nice conversation where they sort of, at this point, reflected on the changes that they had. Lawrence apologized for not making it to the block party, said he heard good things. So they kind of got to feel each other out in a different space. The growth of Lawrence and Issa a year later, conversation, they have a good time. And then we go out and they have the chat. Lawrence kind of played her, right? Where he said he didn't want to hang out more. He made her think.
Well, rewind a little bit. She kept asking him what he wanted to talk to her
That's
about.
Right.
Remember, he was just, I don't know, he wasn't really dodging it, but it just seemed like there were so many things happening in the bar that, they didn't really get the conversation off. I wanted to point out how he tried to order her that drink, and she was just like, I've changed now. Like
I got a new drink.
I got a new drink or whatever. So he's seen that she's changing. They're kind of growing, and they don't know everything about each other still in 1 year, but it was cute. And so they did decide to leave, and they got an Uber together. Remember, he got the black car. He got
right.
Upscale.
He got money. He's got
money. Who was that Uber driver?
I thought at first that she was like an established black actress that I wasn't remembering, but knew her face. But she was just a driver.
Yeah,
she was all in their business.
Vivica Fox at first. I was just like, no, because why would she have that wig on? Like I thought somebody was in character or something. But
I was like, is it Marla Gibbs? No, but
remember they were in the Uber, and she was talking about you start the way you finish. And, telling him to lock her down. And that's when he was like, I tried, to give her a ring. And she did.
Yeah, that was important. That was a big thing because Issa didn't know that he had purchased a ring.
Yes. And so then that's when they ended up going to the restaurant where Issa had already been before, that they were talking about going to a year before that. And she ends up ordering for him. Like she already knew everything that he would want or what she thought he would want. And they had a really nice dinner, and they finally got to talking. And that's when she finally got him to talk to her about like what it is he wanted to talk to her about, right?
And I thought that conversation was really important because you rarely get to see two people have a mature conversation about their relationship in the areas where they have grown, the things that, you may have been unsure to discuss in the moment, how he was feeling that, he was feeling low about himself and all of those little things that came out. And then they walk out and see TSA Bay.
Yeah, they walk out and see TSA Bay. He walks up like, brat! And I'm just like, whoa, how incredibly ghetto and embarrassing. Like, and then
is he on a date? Because he's really free if he's on a date too.
Yes, he was on a date. And then he tried to bring it in for a close hug, and she like dapped him up, and he was like, "No, girl, we know each other, like biblically, you know." And so she's totally awkward and trying to get rid of him. And of course, Lawrence's bitch ass, he gonna say, "How do y'all know each other?" You know, trying to get the tea. He really was like, we used to fuck around basically. And so Lawrence is getting a great kick out of this and everything. And then TSA Bay starts. First of all, his name is Calvin. I didn't even know his name. Calvin starts pitching himself as TSA with Lawrence, and the girlfriend finally picks up on it. You know, she's paying attention and sees that he said that they used to fuck, and she made an excuse to end the conversation because Issa was damn sure trying to end it, but Lawrence was letting it happen. So then they end up walking off, and then Lawrence is like, "Oh, I can kind of see why you fuck. Like, come on. Like, don't even try that. Like, nigga, you know damn well you don't see why they could have fucked." Like he was totally just like fucking with her about it. But I want to ask you a question though. Have you ever like been in a situation where you ran into like some old dick with some new dick and been awkward?
Kind of. I mean, I think so. Like, but probably, I think enough time was passed that, you know, I didn't care. And then, you know, sometimes you have some good people, they respect the curve. Oh, you're not trying to speak? Got it. I'm going to stay right over here. You know, we just worked that out. We just got that understanding. No words exchanged, no beef, but we don't need to speak in this moment. What about you? Has that ever happened?
Girl, lots of times. And then I'm not to say lots like I had a whole bunch of dick, but it's happened because of the spaces that I'm in. You know, I've dated athletes, I've dated entertainers in my life. And so whenever I'm in those spaces with my husband, I see, you know, guys I dated. And even when we first started dating, when he first, you know, proposed to me or whatever, I felt like a duty to him to let him know some of the guys we might run into.
Oh, so you shared that? You had that open conversation?
Early, that are famous, like, you know, people that I feel like you should know about this in case, you know. And so, like, I gave him a real nigga discussion about, you know, my past and some of the guys I dated or whatever. So he's never really, like, tripped or anything. Brent takes the whole, like, I won type of mentality.
Right. No matter.
But I know, like, there's levels, you know what I'm saying? So I know, like, certain names made him, like, damn, like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I think that it's important sometimes if you know that you're going to be in a certain space around exes that you do say something. Issa obviously didn't think she was going to run into him, didn't even know she was going to be back with Lawrence. So there was no lane for that. But I thought that was something that I personally could attest to, and being somewhere and hearing Brent say something like, "Oh, that's so-and-so." And I'm like, like, now I'm awkward. Now I'm awkward. Like, do I say I used to date him, or do I, you know, because it's like if you say something, then it's almost like you're bringing up old shit. You know, maybe you care about old shit. But then if you don't say anything and then it comes up some other time, then it looks like you were being sneaky, you know?
Yeah.
And not want to talk. So it's a tough situation to be in. But I thought it's interesting that happened because I could relate to that situation. But shout out TSA Bay because he's the same nigga with everybody.
No matter what. Yeah. No matter where.
I like him. And so then, so that's when she asked him to go to the art walk. And he was like, "You enjoy it," and kissed her and walked off and left her a little motive.
That's right.
Yeah, and then that's when he came back and he was like, "Brat," I was just playing or whatever. And so they ended up going to the art walk. The lights, the red and the blue.
Hella romantic, yeah.
It was really nice. He bought some artwork that I think has something to do with Issa, because they didn't show it to us. You know, they were saying, "Oh, this is Kelly," you know, naming the art that was like people. And I think he bought something that reminds him of Issa, and they didn't show it to us. We might find out on the last episode or whatever. And then that's when they go back and get the Uber. And then he says, like, we can share one or whatever. And they find out they live around the corner from each other.
Right.
And
shout out to Slauson and Fairfax, Ladera. I know exactly where Lawrence's new building is.
Yes. All LA people know where it is. And that was kind of dope. That's what I like about this show. Like it's us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can pinpoint everything they're saying, the restaurants, the locations and everything. So this is really like a totally LA show. It's pretty cool.
Facts.
And so they get to, Issa is clearly sending out the pussy is still yours vibes. You agree?
Yes, I mean, she was getting turned on. It was exciting, and then the text. She sees him step outside to text with Condola or whatever that was.
Oh yeah, we skipped that in the restaurant. She went to the bathroom, and Condola texted and was like, I know we said Tuesday, because can we meet up tonight? And I was thinking to myself at first, I was like, okay, so if it's a Tuesday thing, meet up, maybe it was like, get your shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, come over and say goodbye type of thing. But then when she called, I was like, okay, this bitch is thirsty.
Right.
It's not like a closure type of discussion. She wants to open the shit up. And so then Issa's obviously like asking him about it, like what's going on with that. And he was like, I don't know what we're doing or what we're going to be, like basically saying like they could get back together. And I was like, oh no, bitch, Issa.
But she wanted to win. She's like, fuck that. I'm not last time I let this opportunity slip by. I didn't say anything. I'm going for mine. And, she seemed really confident about it. Like, she got up the next morning, bird singing, like, I'm going to walk home.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they was at his apartment or whatever, I thought it was dope that he had the blue couch and she was, there's a lot of shit happened, between them. And it was kind of cute to see the blue couch there and how he kind of decorated his place. It looked like what Issa had wanted for them all along. Had he gotten his shit together, they should have been living, in a really nice place like that. He clearly can decorate well. Like Lawrence went from bum to fucking key.
Blow up, it was complete.
Blow up was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And just seeing his place and everything, and then he tried to sneak outside to call Condola to basically say, I'm gonna be pulling up. And Issa heard it, and I was like, oh, she got mad. He was about to let her walk out without even giving her a hug or nothing. And Issa was like, hold on, bitch, this is my fish. This is my fucking fish.
Like, I'm not going out like that. Challenge accepted. Let's go.
Yes, but she put the ball in his court. She basically like threw herself out there and was like, balls in your court. And then he, of course, said stay. And then we finally got a romantic scene. It wasn't no.
Right.
Like, they was legit making love. It was beautiful. Like, they had a little pattern, one little piece, but it was like a love scene. It was so romantic. And, and then Issa, like you said, woke up the next day, declined his ride home. Why should she treat him like a fucking duck? Why?
I mean, I think she was just feeling good that she asserted herself. She got broke off with some familiar penis that she enjoyed. And, the birds were singing, it's a nice day. I'm gonna
walk home. She fucking walked home. The walk of shame was with a smile on her face.
Right.
Everything, smiling, all happy and everything. And so, what did you think that Lawrence was feeling after that when she declined the ride and everything?
I think I have concerns, which we'll get into when we talk about the next episode about Lawrence. He still seems to be a little wishy-washy to me. But, I think he thinks that Issa has leveled up a little bit. And, he's proud of her. So,
yeah. So the little preview for the next episode was Issa and Molly meeting up. We saw them meet up at a restaurant in the preview. So I was kind of excited about that. I wanted to see how it all took place and how they got there. And then the episode 9 starts off with Issa and Lawrence on the couch. And I mean, I was, girl, I wish
I know you were going crazy.
I was losing my shit. I wish somebody would have texted me or DM me like, bitch, I just watched today. So
you didn't even know? You weren't ready for it?
No, I had no clue. I got up and watched it. I actually tried to watch last night, but I fucking pulled a muscle in my back, girl, and it's been crazy. So I was like, you know what? I can't even watch this comfortably on the couch, so I ended up going to bed, but I watched today, and I'm like, why Jill didn't tell me that I was right, that
they were going to link back up. Look, they were back better than ever. Booed up, sex up, food up, cute jokes. It was real cute.
The blue couch was putting in work, baby. They was doing everything there, business, dinners, like you said, fucking, just having the time of their life there. I didn't know exactly how much time had passed until they started talking about Nathan moving. I was like, damn, it hasn't really been that long.
Right.
I'm imagining it might have been 2 weeks. What do you think?
I think it was something like that. I don't think that it was, I keep moving because this stool is uncomfortable. I think that it's only been a couple of weeks. I think it was just real quick. Like it felt good to them. Like you said before, it fits. So they were just like, we're back.
Yeah, naturally. And like I said, she should go on ahead and move in with him. I don't think she moved in with him, but she's staying there. Remember I said that too. I said she could just be, you know what I'm saying, have a drawer over there, but they don't need to date. Like courting. Go ahead.
But they're unsure because you heard Issa ask, what are we? And I was like, that's the thing that you got to clear up. But he came back with the big dog response. What do you want to be? I was like,
when he said that shit, I was like, okay. Because I like when a guy says that because that, you know, gives a woman an opportunity to say exactly what she wants as opposed to a man making the decision. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like that he was like, he put the ball in her court and was like, what is it that you want? And he can, you know, acknowledge that and honor that or not. You know, and so then, of course, they got into all types of other discussions about Condola and him finally breaking it off. He said it was over. She told him that the pussy had him going crazy or whatever. Issa must got some bomb pussy because all she was talking about is how good this pussy is. And Lawrence can't even focus. He can't concentrate. And then, boom, she's back on top of him again. And I was just like, like I was pumped. It's working out the way I planned it right now. But, you know, after that scene happened, we see Molly in therapy, right? Totally blaming Issa, still not owning her part in what took place. The therapist kind of gets her together, you know, and kind of acknowledges like, you can't say that everybody's wrong. You know, you have to acknowledge that you have a part in everything that happens in your life, even if it's not your fault. If it's constantly happening the same way, it's how you're reacting, you know? And I thought that she tried to take it like a big girl and everything, but I like that there's therapy. I like that this is actually happening in the show. I try to encourage all my friends to do therapy. I'm in therapy, like I told you before. And I just think it's always good to talk to somebody else that's not in your circle, not your friends, because they're going to give you like a clear perspective on your bullshit, you know?
Right. So, I mean, I believe in therapy. I'm very big on it. I think that, you know, getting, like you said, a third neutral party to help you work through your issues, to see the moments when maybe you're acting out a little bit or you're not seeing things from an outside viewpoint of yourself even is important. So for Molly, I think one of the important questions that the therapist asked was if the relationship was worth salvaging, because that's what you have to think about. It's like while you're venting about your feelings and all of these things and who was right, the bottom line is this someone
serve you?
Yes.
Yes. And she didn't answer, but you know, we got our answer later. So Issa's working from home, and she's, you know, going through her little Rolodex and calling people because she obviously, you know, needs some advice. But then Nathan texts and we find out that she did say yes, she would help him move in. So Lawrence, I thought it was pretty mature of him to not trip off of her having this male friend. I don't know no niggas that would have said that, but I think that it was good because they're still new and getting back, you know, into whatever they're going to be. And I think that's why he said that, but I think it was a mistake, but you know, it is what it is.
They aren't completely back together yet. So for me, I felt like he could have said no, but I think it would set up the wrong type of boundaries. You have to show that you trust her beyond what happened before, and that she is just like she didn't trip on him about talking to Condola about whatever, wrapping that up. He has to allow that same space for her. So I thought that was good. But my real question is, I know it's just because I guess Nathan wants to be around her, but girl, are you helping a guy move? Or are you helping him unpack?
That's why I felt like it was wrong. It wasn't the association. It was what she was going for. No man is asking a woman to help him move that he is not attracted to, that he's not interested in. And that's why I feel like Lauren should have said, I think you should just go over there and BET wrap that shit up. Because that not help him move, like none of that. Like you can in person break a friendship. And that's what I think he should have asked her to do if they were going to move forward. You see what I mean? If
Mhm.
y'all still in limbo and not sure what you want to do, but Lawrence is making it clear that, you know, this is where he wants to be, and she seems to want to be there too. And I think that at that time, like, I get what you're saying, like trusting her, but nah, that don't sound like a date with homies. That sounds like we finna unpack these boxes and then fuck on this mattress or this air mattress. I don't got my bed yet type of day. That's what it seemed like to me.
But shout out to Nathan though when Issa was like doing a little too much because she was giving him too much information and cutting off that situation when really her and Lawrence aren't back together yet. So I feel like we as women, this is something I was talking about earlier, we jump all in and the guy is still figuring it out or making up his decision. And then you look up and we don't know what's going to happen with Lawrence. But if you look up and he flip-flops back again, you have cut off your option and then you got to go slinking back when you could have just relaxed until something official happened. But
let's go back though, because we have to talk about these phone calls that she took. She called Kelly, who was unavailable.
Right.
Called her brother Ahmad, and he gave
her shit advice. Shout out to Little Kingston. He was eating at Little Kingston's Jamaican food spot. That is my spot.
That's everybody's spot, it seems.
Right.
But yeah, so then she ends up calling Molly. And, you know, and we got punked. I thought the very first scene was a punk with them on the couch and all that stuff.
You thought it was a dream?
I thought that was the how, you know, Issa's always punking us or whatever. And so I thought that was a punk. But the punk was when she called Molly and was like, you know, basically saying, I miss you because I need your advice on my life. And Molly went the fuck off, which I thought was valid at that point because that was the wrong way to start the conversation with Issa. And I think that when she had that little fake dream, and it helped her when she actually did make the phone call and she did get to the restaurant with Molly and they sat down. Issa clearly was trying to make it about Molly, asking about her job, asking about her family. Hey, I saw your vacation pics with you and Andrew. You looked amazing. Like she was really like gearing the conversation towards all things Molly to make sure that it didn't come off like, I really need your advice on Lawrence, which is really, she really does want that advice, but I think that she did the right thing and just backing up a little bit, you know, and not being as selfish as she normally would be in the relationship.
But I also think to Molly's part, Molly, to me, it was of the mindset, she was walking in that restaurant like, so Issa's going to apologize or Issa is going to talk about what happened. And I understand from Issa's perspective, maybe, you know, feeling it out and seeing, well, if she's going to bring it up, maybe we'll talk about it next time. And this is just a moment for us to reconnect really quick. But I didn't appreciate Molly being mad at Issa, like she didn't say anything because you could have spoke up too. And that's the big thing with Molly. She wants everybody to crawl and cater to her. And it's not, you're not the center. And they both owe each other apologies, but Molly, what you did and how you approached it, you don't think that you owe her an apology at all? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I thought the brunch was a good thing. I thought it was good, me personally, that they didn't bring up any of the bullshit. I think that if they had brought up the bullshit, the scenes that happened later wouldn't have happened. I think that they should have just had a girls' day where, you know, Issa got to bring up how she got the dine and dash, the bitches dogged her out and everything. And they just kind of caught up as girlfriends, left the drama and the madness behind. I thought it was good. And I said to myself, you know, they'll get to it. You know,
but the thing is, I agree. I thought it was good too. But remember, Molly, when she went back and was talking to Andrew, said that she felt that it was superficial and that
she said that they didn't even go over, you know, the stuff that happened. And I love Andrew is really, boy.
Look, you weren't for him.
No, he is holding her feet to the fire, and he was right. He was like, she called you. She finally called. You've been bitching, talking about she should call. So you want her to do all the work of putting y'all back together because he agrees with the rest of us that she's also wrong too. I think Molly is way more wrong than she understands.
Yeah.
Like you have every right to have been upset that Issa asked Nathan the way that she did, but you confronted her at her event aggressively.
Right.
Like, you're dead fucking wrong. Like, you lost all credibility once you did that. No one cares that you're mad that it appears she went behind your back now, because she really didn't go behind your back. She asked you for the lob. You didn't throw it. So she went to Nathan, who threw the lob, and she dumped this shit, you know? And so you should have just been happy that she even was resourceful enough to still get it done, because you think she doesn't get shit done anyway. She still got it done. So you should have been like, well, damn, girl, my bad. It should have been like, I should have been there for you. That's what it should have been. That should have been me throwing you that lob.
Right.
She was petty about it and mad. Still doesn't think she has any responsibility for it. Andrew was holding her feet to the fire on it, which I love, because you would think that he would just kind of like not want to say anything about it just so they can like be cool. Then he brings up that his brother's in town. Yeah. And he got them Clippers tickets. And this scene right here, I want to know if you think that any man you know would be cool with his girl saying another man could get it.
I mean, so here's the thing. There are sometimes, like, if a woman could say, oh, I love, I don't know,
it's
who's
a
single?
celebrity crush type of thing. Like, oh,
right. I mean, that.
But saying, like, I'm just thinking about, like, I have a celebrity crush. Brent has a celebrity crush. We know who each other's crushes is, but he will never, ever hear me say that crush can get it. Even if I think that, even if I do want to smash that, I would never.
But see, here's the thing.
No.
But here's the thing. I think also you have to consider that it's different for you and Brent. If you guys have a celebrity crush, that's different from Joe Blow regular having a celebrity crush, because you could meet your crush. You can interact with them. So that's why I feel like it's a little bit more disrespectful. For the average person, when they say, I got a crush on Beyonce, whatever, they're never going to cross paths with them. So
I see.
I like, you know, the type of people I date, I don't know if they can get that pass. But I mean, I'm not really, it's okay. We'd have to talk about it. But I see that maybe if they think that, oh, that's not in the realm of your possibility, it's like jokes. That's not, yeah.
So Andrew feels like, you know, she should go to the Clipper game with him and his brother, because his brother is trying to extend an olive branch. He's trying to, you know, make up for what happened on the trip to Mexico. And she says no, you know, make it a guy's night out. She doesn't want to go, whatever. And, you know, I think that he was bothered by it, but he didn't allow it to bother him. He just kind of was like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. And so then the next thing we see Issa with her event planner, planning her next event, which appears to be a wellness event. Yep. Love it. Wellness event. And, you know, they're just kind of talking about, they're in the ground stages of it, just barely trying to get sponsors. They don't have a venue. They don't have a date. They don't have anything, but they're in the ground floor of it. And then Lawrence calls from San Francisco, telling her that his interview went really, really well. And then when I saw that, I was just like, oh my God, this motherfucker about to leave.
He might be leaving next week.
This is sick. Like, I like that, you know, to go back to another scene. I like that, you know, when they were talking about happiness and what makes you happy. And Issa was saying that, you know, it's like, it's a mindset. And he was saying how he doesn't mind being an employee. At first he wanted to be an owner or CEO of his own company, but now he likes, you know, bringing other people's vision to life. And I think that a lot of people,
he said, yeah, being part of the team. That's what he said, being part of a team to like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think owners are important and it's great, but we need some people to be employees. Everybody can't be a CEO, you know? And I think that he realized he had been pushing for something and not, you know, getting it done simply because this was the goal. And he kind of wasted a lot of years, you know, mind fucking himself and thinking like, you know, he was a failure. And you know how Issa was saying that he wouldn't even have sex with her. He didn't want to talk. He was depressed. He was going through all this stuff. And now to come out of that and realize, damn, I went through that for nothing. I should have just been should have just went out there and tried to be an employee first. And I would have found this out. But he had a whole coming of age with his career. And now he's offered this job possibly. And so, Issa's calling him her San Francisco treat, which I thought was super cute and everything. And so, it just seems like they never skip a beat, like just getting right back together. They have so much in common, so many jokes that they play with each other and everything. And then boom, here she go at Nathan's house.
And they got to go back to Andrew's to pick up the last of his stuff. And Molly and Drew were there, and they kind of extend the olive branch after the thing.
Wait, we got to go back because we got to talk about at Nathan's house. Remember? Yes, so she goes to Nathan's house, and she's awkward. She doesn't want to hug him. She's acting all goofy because, she got a man now technically, but not really. And so she's going through boxes, and Nathan tries to get close to her, and she's kind of backing up away from him. And then she tells Nathan that she's kind of hooked back up with her ex. And Nathan, that nigga throws shade, severe shade. He starts talking shit. Oh, the dude you cheated on?
Right.
Oh, he ain't got his shit together. Why you back with that? I thought you was off that shit. Like, Nathan was throwing shots, and this is why she shouldn't have went over there. Like I said, Nathan was about to try to put his bid in to get her back, and he thought that her accepting this invitation to help him move in was her saying, yes, I'm open to that. But we still ended up getting what we needed, which was Nathan telling her finally why he ghosted her. And he said that he was bipolar and that he didn't want to talk to her about it because he was afraid that, like, her and other people might call him crazy because they don't understand the disease. And he finally got clarity. He got the help that he needed. And I was just like, what a great episode, man.
It really was.
It was really great to see them just kind of tackle this issue that a lot of Black men probably deal with but are afraid to go and get help and find out, what the issues are.
Yep, and Kerry Washington directed it, and I know that she gave Molly, a hard time. Well, not gave her a hard time. They had a bit of a clashing because Kerry wanted to bring out more of her in the emotional scenes, but we see how it turned out. So, okay, she and Nathan have the talk. And is that when they leave to go pick up the box from Andrews?
Yeah, that's when I like that once Nathan realized that, he took his little shots or whatever at their blossoming relationship. Issa, accepted them. He told her that he was bipolar and everything. And then he kind of realized, like, okay, I've kind of lost her. So, let me not lose the friendship as well. And that's
Do you think that's what he thought? I don't think he thought he lost her. I thought he was like, let the games begin. I thought he was like, challenge up.
Well, he came in so hot that was a situation where he was like, okay, I've lost her right now, is what I'm saying. Right now, I can't even try to come in because I done took shots at her relationship. So now let me not lose the friendship. Let me continue and make this just about business, just about her helping me, move into my place. And then they went to Molly's and Andrew's crib, and she Molly comes in with the food and everything, and Andrew says, I had to lie for you and say you were at work to my brother, and she got pissed off, and she was like, why would you even put me in a situation to say no? I didn't think it was a bad situation that he put her in, but apparently he should have known, according to Molly, that she wasn't ready to be around her brother. Did you think that it was too soon to be around the brother after what happened?
I think that, once again, Molly's lack of communication and seeing things outside of herself. Everything is, but I, this is what happened to me. Just like when she came in with that scene with food, Andrew was thinking they were going to have something else. And she was like, oh, well, I liked what we had yesterday, so I just got this. Again, disregarding his feelings. I think that Andrew's going to end up breaking up with Molly.
Girl, that's in one of my questions in the end. We're gonna get to that. So when Issa and Nathan walk in, they're kind of in a little tiff or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, we can come back later. We're gonna hurry up and get out of here." And Andrew looks at her and kind of makes her invite them to stay for dinner. Which I was like, "Okay, Andrew." Andrew is really trying to do Molly hella solids, trying to get her to understand this is how relationships work. You don't just chop a motherfucker's head off like that. You got to kind of work through it, especially if you say it's somebody you care about. And So I thought it was great that, you know, they ended up staying because then Issa and Molly got to reminisce again and cracking jokes about, you know, good old days and, you know, all that stuff. And then Issa brings up the Celebrity Heights game that she made up. And Molly looks at Andrew like, nigga, it's time for them to go. Like, she was like, okay, I've been doing this fake shit for this whole time. Like, now I'm ready to go. And Andrew looks at her again. And then she's like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, we can play or whatever. So they start playing the game. Andrew goes, gets the wine. And this bitch, Molly.
Listen, I've sent, not to a girlfriend, but to a guy critiquing his performance. It wasn't a nice text. I sent the text to him. Like, you know how, like, afterwards you with your girl, well, you with the guy, but you hitting up your girl because the shit was whack and you like, whatever. I text my friend to tell her, but I did not text my friend. I text him, and I'm sitting across from him. That was fun.
Wait. What did the text say? The dick is trash? Did you do the garbage emoji?
I said, I fucked dude. It was whack.
Oh!
And I sent it to him. And he's like,
man.
I didn't even think about it when the shit went off. I was sitting there, la la la.
What did he say?
He looked at his text and he was like, oh, that's not nice. And he showed me, and I was like, I mean, I said it.
Y'all was still butt naked, laying in bed.
It was in black and white.
Y'all was still in bed, like you hadn't even.
We weren't in bed. We were like chilling, like watching TV, having a drink. This was like,
you let him hang out after the trash.
I was at his spot.
And you didn't peace out.
No, because I was going in a second. I was just like, I'm gonna go in a minute, like whatever. I think, you know, probably with some alcohol involved. So, you know, don't drive drunk. This was pre-Uber. This was before Uber. So,
okay. You know, I lost a friend like that, honestly. I had a friend, well, she was kind of, you know, talking to me about some things in our friendship that she didn't really like or whatever, but she kept saying, like, you know, my friends are telling me that, you know, something that you're doing, I should be bothered by it, but I'm not bothered by it. But my friends are saying that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I don't want to get into the details because it might expose who it is. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, tell your friends that they don't know me. Like, why are they commenting on our friendship? Like, it was very weird to me that she was saying all this stuff. And then one day I get a screenshot, right after I talked to her, I get a screenshot and a text of something that I commented on this other person's page on Instagram. And it was a screenshot of my comment with the post. And it says, see, look at her. You know, she's commenting again and blah, blah, blah. She sent it to me.
What'd you do, Miko?
So as soon as she sent it to me, then she tried to reply real quick and say, this is something my friend just sent me. I said, girl, bye. No, she didn't. You accidentally sent that to me. You're basically trying to lie to me and say somebody else has a problem with something I'm doing, but it's really you. And you're not woman enough to tell me that you have an issue with something I'm doing, and the friendship is over now. Like, whatever I'm doing to any of my friends, if it's something you're bothered by, you have an issue with, you're supposed to be able to be comfortable telling that person.
Right.
You know, and if you're not, you have to use an excuse to say it with somebody else, like, girl, bye, the friendship is over. Like, it's over.
Right.
But I always love when that kind of stuff happens, honestly, because it's just what was supposed to happen. And that was supposed to happen. Molly was supposed to get embarrassed because she's the one that wasn't trying. Just like he said, she stormed out. I'm doing all the trying. You're not doing anything. And then we finally hear Molly say, I think I've outgrown the friendship. Is that what she said? Like, I think we're outgrown each other. Like that. And I feel like, you know what? That's what Molly thinks. She really thinks that now Issa is no use to her.
Yep.
Issa is of no importance. She's not beneath her anymore. Like, she can't belittle her. Like, I just think that she's upset that Issa isn't her minion anymore. And that's why the friendship is over. It's not because they've outgrown each other. I think that they could actually be better friends now that Issa's gotten her shit together and she's more focused and driven and trying to get her life together. Like, you want your friends to glow up. Like, you're supposed to be a part of the reason why your friends glow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your friends see you hustling and you grinding and you getting your shit done, that's supposed to motivate them, just like Nathan said Issa motivated him to buy the shop from the other guys. Like, your circle, y'all supposed to be building each other up and motivating each other, seeing, oh shit, she hustling, oh he hustling, let me get on my shit too. Like, I don't want to be at the bottom of the circle, you know. And I was just like, damn, Molly is really just dreadful right now.
I just feel like you said, Issa as her minion, it makes her feel better about herself, because then, you know, it's somebody that she's above. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've seen that behavior from her a lot this season, even how she treated the assistant that episode, a couple of episodes ago. And that conversation was big because Molly expected Issa to react or to be like, no, why? And Issa was just like, okay. Copy. And I was like, my nigga, do that shit, because stand up for yourself. Don't let her be disrespectful. Issa really tried. She tried to set the stage to make it comfortable. She tried being considerate of Molly and talking to her about her work and doing all of the things to be a better friend. And Molly wasn't given any country, so.
Yeah. And she was still hanging on to like, why didn't you say anything? Well, why didn't you say anything? And it's clear Molly just doesn't want the friendship. She's over it for whatever reason. And that's why I think it was good that it happened, because now Issa can see, because she could have just faked and lied and, you know, faked a friendship still and still been holding on to this anger, this bitterness. But this happens so that Issa can actually see, like she's shady for that. Like, why you even texting Andrew that, like, while she's there? Like, girl, I thought she was in the moment, the way they were reminiscing and
laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, and you're not even there. You're faking. Issa was.
I think that I don't even feel like Molly's over it. I think Molly just wants to feel she's not comfortable with the woman that Issa is growing into, and it makes her, for whatever reason, she's one of those people that in order to feel good has to feel like she's, you know, she has somebody in her shadow or her do boy or whatever, do girl.
Oh, Lord. So that's how the episode ended. And we saw a little preview, and it looks like Nathan and Lawrence and Issa have drama, just like I predicted. That's why I was like, she should have never went over that nigga's house. She should have broke that. That shouldn't even been. She should have FaceTimed and possibly, like, don't even go over there. But if you go over there, it is quite simply to say, I'm out, and leave. But she wouldn't have had the scene with Molly. All the other things wouldn't have taken place. So I guess they all needed to happen. But it looks like Nathan is about to put it on strong and try to fight for his fish.
Issa once again is going to be back. Who is she going to choose? Is Lawrence going to go to San Francisco? Final episode in 2 days.
Is she going to follow him? Like, would she go with him?
I don't know.
She can run her business from San Francisco. She can even still do all Inglewood things from San Francisco, because, you know, event planning is a lot of phone calls. It's a lot of, you know, she already has, you know, an assistant, but it's really just a lot of phone calls and connecting with people and getting the stuff done. And she can easily hop on a 30-minute flight back home to, you know, day before, even a week before, and get that all together. I say go. If that nigga going to San Francisco, I'm going. The San Francisco treat going, I'm going with his ass. That's what I was
in LA. Don't move him away.
It can always come back. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. So I got a question for you. Who do you think Issa's going to choose? Because at the end, we see her walk up and say hi to somebody. We don't know what the hell that means. But who do you think that she's going to choose?
I feel like she's going to choose Lawrence because in some ways, it's the path that makes most sense, because Nathan, too, is working on some things. And I just think there's a different sort of, obviously 5 years, not just that there's a different sort of comfort with Lawrence, but it's not something that she really wanted to let go anyway. So I don't think she's fully ready for a whole new start without Lawrence, unless he moves to San Francisco.
But if he moves to San Francisco, then you say Nathan's going to get her.
I mean, he could, yeah.
I think she's going to get with Lawrence, and it's really because of the fact that she's already had Nathan, and she's had TSA babe. She's had all these other penises coming and going in her life, and she still has that fire for Lawrence. She still has the itch for him. Like, they have unfinished business, in my opinion. And I think that with both of them in better places financially, even though Issa's not making a lot of money or anything like that, she has goals now. Lawrence has a career. So, he might be able to hold them down while she gets her business off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Switch the roles a little bit. And I think that makes more sense to me than her getting with Nathan, who's just starting a business, who does have some mental health issues that he probably is still working on. And that's tough. That's tough to hop into that and get into that. And so I think that Lawrence is the love of her life, in my opinion. And I think that whether he goes to San Francisco or not, they might do a long distance relationship. I don't know, but she's gonna choose Lawrence.
So we have to shout out Kendrick Sampson, who plays Nathan, because he was on the front lines for all of these marches. You saw him get touched with the baton and stuff like that. He's about the movement. He is serious, putting his body and his words behind it. So have to give him a real quick shout out.
Yes, and we also have to shout him out too, because he was very excited and happy to explore Nathan's mental health. He posted about that and thanked Kerry Washington for, tackling that. And even though I personally feel like we need more, because I have a friend who's bipolar, and I didn't really know until I had a friend who was bipolar. Like, you hear that, and like he said, everybody thinks, oh, you're just crazy. People think it's just mood swings. It is very complicated. Yeah. It is dangerous also, and so I think that we need to dive a little bit deeper into it, but it's a 30-minute show. Obviously you can't, do that, but I like that the conversation came up and he embraced it and he enjoyed, tackling that and playing that role. So we need more roles like that and more men that are open to, handling stuff like that. So shout out to him for that. The season is almost over. Issa and Molly's friendship appears to be over. Who's to blame, and do you think they will make up?
I think that they both have played their part in the friendship unraveling, but the lack of communication on this last part is on Molly. Obviously, we talked about it. Issa extended an olive branch. She was being considerate of her feelings. I think because their circles are so intertwined, at some point they could come back. But I do think that at the end of the final episode, their friendship is going to be in limbo, over as far as we are concerned.
Yes, I agree. I think that one of the things that I did take from this is I thought that it was good that Molly ended the friendship, because Issa would have just continued to beg and try and, and do little stuff, because she really does miss Molly. Right. And I think that the way Molly did it was good for Issa to understand what she's dealing with.
I agree.
Because that was a good thing that Molly was honest with herself and was just like, yeah, I don't want to be friends anymore. Because she could have faked it. She could have lied and continued to be, snarky behind her back and talking shit and, being petty. But she ended it. I give her credit for that, for not dragging it, because she could have just faked it like she's been doing and dragged it on. But she ended it. It clearly looks like she's still bitching about it in the final episode. But my prediction, and I want to know what you think about this, because we kind of brought it up earlier. Prediction is that Andrew is going to dump Molly because she holds on to things too long. That's part of the way that I feel like she's going to try to get back with Issa as friend. Like, she's going to be like, you were right. I ruined it with Andrew. You were right. Like, it's almost like she's going to finally have that epiphany where she realized damn, I am the common denominator. I'm fucking up. What do you think about that?
I think that you are spot on with that you were dead on, because Andrew is a good guy. He's irrational. He's level-headed. He has her back, but he, stands up to her and will point out when she is wrong, respectfully so. He never demeans her for her opinion. He never makes her feel bad. He just, has an adult conversation with her, which I appreciate. But I think that he is a little tired of her childish antics. So,
Well, I think This is just an opinion, and you tell me what you think. I think we should watch the last episode together.
What's up?
You want to come over on Sunday?
I will be there.
Okay, so cool. We're going to watch it in my cabana outside. That way I can smoke weed. And it won't be, my son won't be out there today. We should watch the last episode together and then maybe do the recap on Instagram Live.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yes. And
I'll be at your house on Sunday.
Yes. So we can try to do it on YouTube Live and on Instagram Live at the same time. And we can kind of just do the final recap of the final episode from my house.
Yeah, I'll be there Sunday. I'll take a temperature so that we aren't making sure that we're endangering anybody. But I think that's a fabulous idea. So.
Yes, I think so too. So thank you guys so much for joining us this time. Thank you for, hanging on while we took a little bit of time off. And I guess we were going to see you guys in less than 48 hours, right?
Right.
It's Friday night right now, so you're going to get this on Saturday morning more than likely. So it'll really be like a little less than 24 hours after that. So closing out, I'm Miko Grimes.
I'm Jill Monroe. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Stay strong. Black Lives Matter. Not that we needed to remind you, but we are.
It's the after party. Miko